Grab your glasses, everybody. It's time for a Moonshine Safari.
Welcome to Moonshine Safari, everybody, from Moonshine Safari Studios in Gilbert, Arizona. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, it's the 24th episode.
It is.
And guess what day today is that we're recording it on?
The 24th.
The 24th. Hey, this is our special holiday podcast, whatever. We'll talk about that because if you follow us, which hopefully you do, and you've been listening to the previous 23 episodes, and if you haven't, please go back and check those out. And you can listen to those all day tomorrow and get them caught up on your special day.
That'll be fun for you. That's that's like your Christmas present.
It is.
Christmas.
It's Moonshine Safari's Christmas present to you.
To you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. And we got a couple shout outs to do here, Dina.
Do we?
We do. Hey, the very first one is very special to us. I think we've talked about them before in previous, but I'd like to give a shout out to Guitars for Vets. Guitars for Vets, it's a nonprofit where the money that you donate goes to a program set up where veterans can go and sign up, and they're all over the country, and you can look online and find out if there's a place nearby you or a group nearby you. And what they do is they go through a course of classes, and if they finish the course of guitar lessons, then they get a guitar at the end of the class.
I think it's a great organization and certainly a worthy cause. And yet we definitely like to support them ourselves.
Yes.
We are big on charity. So if you have some extra charity dollars this month or another month, please think of them.
Yeah. You can actually sponsor one vet to go through the whole course for, was it $250? I think it's what it is.
I think it's $250, but like I said,
Something
I think
like
they
that.
do good work. Most of the money goes straight to
the program. Yep,
which
the program.
is awesome.
I found out about this through Tony's Acoustic Challenge. In fact, they just raised over $15,000.
That's awesome.
For Guitars
That's
for Vets.
fantastic.
They sure did. They did a wonderful thing. So I'd like to give out a shout out for them. Also, some new subscribers and listeners to our social media, and you can find those all over the place. We have it on Instagram and Facebook, and go to our website, moonshinesafari.com, YouTube, all of those things.
We are definitely most active on Instagram, just so you're aware.
We have a lot on Instagram, and original songs out there too. Betty Kirk, thank you so much for following and watching us or listening wherever you are. Mia Prentice, thank you as well. Hank Williams 912.
Nice choice.
I tell you, I'm a Hank Williams fan. I'm a bigger Hank Williams Jr. fan.
We'll talk about Hank Williams Jr. fan.
Right. In fact, that's kind of what I've been. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit. Anyway, let's see. Fran_Mickey.
Hi, Fran.
And hold on, Eldon Huff Official. Eldon Huff Official. Thank you so much. Thank you all for stopping by and following us or liking us or listening to us. And please continue to do so and pass it along to your friends, even if you want to do it as a practical joke or torture.
There you go. Help us build our little group.
That'd be great. Hey, coming up, what have Josh and Dina been listening to? We're going to let you know in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
What's Josh listening to?
Welcome back to Moonshine Safari, everybody. I'm Josh.
I'm Dina.
Hey, Dina, what you been listening to this week?
So, everybody kind of may or may not know this about me. I am a huge Harry Potter nerd. And every now and again...
I think we probably know that. I think you mentioned that
a lot of people do. I get in the mood to listen to the books because I have them all on audio, and I have them all on Kindle, and I have them all on hardback. But anyway, in this case, I've been listening to the books at work, and it's something that I have on in the background, and I know those books backwards.
And at home, too. You've been listening to the books at home, too, with the most amazing narrator that you've ever heard in your entire being.
That's true. His name is Josh, by the way, because we've been reading the books together.
She just snookered me into doing it.
I did. Yep. I did. But anyway, so I've been listening to them at work because I can have them on in the background. I know them so well that I can pick up any time and know exactly what's going on.
Yep.
So that's my admission for the day.
Okay. I have been listening to, speaking of Hank Williams, 912, Hank Williams Jr. I've been listening to him this week, along with, of course, Blackberry Smoke. I've been doing some writing. I wrote another new song.
He
put
did.
some music to that.
I think I've got an idea for one for me. What?
Oh, cool. So doing some of that, but Hank Williams Jr., I listened, that was the very first concert I actually ever went to back in Starkville, Mississippi.
It's before I met you.
Yeah, it was before we moved out here.
Yeah.
It was the Whiskey Bent and Hellbound tour, 1985. It was right before we moved out here.
Right.
I had no idea what to expect. It was crazy. He comes out and he's got this buckskin jacket and, of course, the hat and the glasses and the beard and the jeans and the boots and the guitar and everything. And he comes out and he's playing. He's all gussied up like that. And then he keeps going back and taking a drink from under the stool where he sits and plays and does stuff. And then about halfway through, he's got his shirt off, his hat off. He's on top of the piano, and he's got a 30-30 rifle shooting blanks into the crowd.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was in for.
Yeah.
But I was hooked. I was hooked before that because my father, Pop, if you haven't heard that song, this Whiskey's for You. The original song by me. I'm going to plug it, yes, because it's my show and I can.
It's a good song. It's a really good song.
Right.
I
If
really
you haven't
like
seen it, go to a YouTube channel, go to a website, go to SoundCloud. I think it's posted up there. You can hear it too, and tell me what you think.
As far as we know up to this point, guys, we are the only Moonshine Safari out there. It's fairly easy to find us.
Yeah, we're kind of all over the place, but I have noticed that we just don't have a ton of traffic. So when you do Google Moonshine Safari, it doesn't always pop up because we're just new. We just started it, so. And we're doing this ground roots.
And it's very organic.
Yeah.
We're not doing bots and we're not doing weird
we're
stuff.
We're not paying for clicks or any of that stuff. We're doing this.
We're just doing this little by little.
Yes. All right. Hey, that's what we're listening to. I said Blackberry Smoke too. Then I always listen to Blackberry Smoke. Okay. Hey, coming up, gonna tickle your funny bone. Stay tuned. Hey, Dina, I got a story for you.
Do you?
I do. Hey, this man was really lonely, so he posted an ad on this very popular website, and the ad said simply, quote, wife wanted. And he was surprised the next morning that he found that he had over 100 replies in his inbox. Though, unfortunately, they all said the same thing. You can have mine.
Oh, nice.
It's time for Peeve of the Week.
All right, welcome back to Moonshine Safari, everybody. I'm Josh.
I'm Dina.
Hey, we have a special guest in the studio with us today. Our little puppy dog named Hoochie.
And she is just, like, looking for attention today.
Hoochie Mama. Hey, Hoochie, say hi to everybody.
Who's here?
See, she said hi to y'all. There she is.
There
she said howdy.
is.
That's Hoochie Mama. Oh, you hear in the background? She got all the other dogs.
She got everyone going.
She's all riled up. Now she got to go see what's going
Yeah.
on. Hey, it's time for Peeve of the Week. And I'm just going to say, okay, this is part of the whole holiday spirit. We've told you guys we're Jews, right? We are Jews, and we do the typical holiday thing on Christmas. We go to the movies, and we eat Chinese food. And, well, a couple years ago, we had some friends who almost ruined that for us. And I'll tell you, the reason is because they told us about the ingredients in a lot of the Chinese food that we weren't even aware about. And maybe you weren't aware of either. And that is they put oyster sauce or shellfish like sauce in almost everything.
Which if you don't
if you keep kosher,
know about,
it's not good.
Right, you can't. Right, that's one of the
And I know
no-nos.
some of you go, you can't eat Chinese food anyway because it's not kosher, doesn't have the symbols. Look, I'm not going to get in an argument with you. That's the way I keep my Judaism. I'm not going to criticize you for yours. Don't criticize mine for mine, okay?
I was going to say, everybody has their way to do it.
Yeah, we can talk about that stuff later. But anyway, so my peeve is, yo, why you got to put the oyster sauce in everything in the Chinese food?
Well, and to be fair, I would imagine that there's a lot of people out there with shellfish allergies. They probably get bummed by it too. Cause
Oh,
it's like,
I guess so. But we did find a place. That's just right on the corner.
right on the corner.
And they have a lot of things that don't have that in, and they're very clear about it, and it's very organic type stuff. So guess what? We're going to be having
Some Chinese food.
some Chinese food. Yeah, you know that's right. And Well, we'll talk about in a little bit what we're going to do tomorrow. Anyway, so that's the peeve. And it's very simple. Because it's hard to be peevy. Well, it's hard for me to be peevy because I pretty much stay home and stay inside during this whole week because of the craziness that's going on.
Well, and most of my work's been from home too. So
yeah, so it's been pretty good for all of us, and we haven't been able to be on the roads too much. But those of you who are and traveling, be safe.
Be safe.
All right, be safe. All right, coming up, pro tip of the week. It also has to do with holiday stuff.
It does.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Get out your notepads. It's time for pro tip of the week.
Welcome back to Moonshine Safari, everybody, from Moonshine Safari Studios in Gilbert, Arizona. That's Dina.
And that's Josh.
That's right. That's who I am. Hey, we got a pro tip for you. Dina, what's the pro tip?
Well, if you've been listening, you know this by now, but I'm in mortgages. And actually,
I'm in mortgages.
Josh is in mortgages too now. Anyway, the point is, and honestly, I don't think that this is specific to this industry. I think pretty much any industry that you're in,
yes,
you need to realize that especially once you're trying to conduct business, you get to around this time of the year, starting with mid-November through basically almost mid-January. I always tell my clients, just get ready. Everybody loses their minds. People are out a lot. I mean, and it makes sense. You have big family holidays. I tell my borrowers, these are the Mac Daddy holidays of the calendar. So you have people out, many people taking vacations, times, your normal turn times, business turn times lengthen.
Sometimes flu season corresponds with the same.
It's just like, you know what? Just like I said, just get ready. Just be ready for it and know that that's coming. So that way you're not surprised later and go, I can't believe it. I thought this was going to go really fast. Well, not during this time. Nothing goes fast.
Right. People have got other things on their minds, but everybody's trying to get things done by the end of the year. It is a crazy time. So here's the pro tip is, look, either put on your patient pants and enjoy the ride.
Or don't do it during that time.
Or don't do it during that. I would suggest just don't do it during that time, personally, unless you have to. But make sure you get your ducks in a row for that too, and be ready to move and be ready to go because everybody's going to be wanting to get it done too. So
absolutely.
So don't drag your feet, especially this time of year. If you're going to start the process this time of year, don't drag your feet. Be ready to go.
Be ready.
That's right. All right. Hey, well, thanks. These are like invaluable little tidbits of wisdom that
really and common sense that a lot of people know. Yeah. Sometimes when somebody says it, you're like, oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. So all right. So take care of the holiday stuff and expect some delays. Just like you're out there in the traffic, just like you're behind the line. Some of you are patient enough to realize that that's part of the whole season. Some of you aren't. Those of you who aren't, just need to learn how to do it. And I'm not the most patient person in the world. Trust me. When I get out there, I want it done too. So I get you. All right. Okay, coming up. It might be a little special.
Might be a little different.
A little different today. Hang tight if you want to.
Shh. Quiet and listen. It's time for Marriage Story of the Week.
Welcome back to Moonshine Safari, everybody. I'm Josh.
I'm Tina.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry holidays. Happy Christmas.
Post-Hanukkah.
Post-Hanukkah, right.
New Year's coming.
Yes. Here's some things, and this is kind of like if you want to do a holiday special, if you want to. I just want to talk about Christmas and stuff. I don't necessarily have a problem with Christmas. I don't have a problem with people wishing me a Merry Christmas. I'm Jewish. I don't care. I don't get offended.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's your holiday. Great.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. Wish me a Merry Christmas. I'll probably wish you a Merry Christmas right back. I have no problem doing that. Okay. My personal, I know some people do. And you know what? That's fine if they do. I got no problem. I don't get offended by that. Don't get offended if I say happy holidays to you though either. You can't have it both ways. And that's the problem. People want to, I think what's happened is a lot of Christians, and I'm just talking to you a little bit, my fellow Christian people out there. I say fellow Christians. I'm not a Christian, but you know who I'm talking about. My fellows, my buddies who listen to the show who are Christians. Listen to me for a second. There's not a war on Merry Christmas. I don't know who is creating that. Who told you couldn't say Merry Christmas? Who said you couldn't? Nobody ever said you couldn't.
I think it comes from the idea that there were companies that were putting into place
So they're allowed
that
to.
they would roll exactly that
Why
they
can't
didn't
they?
want their
Hey,
employees
if you believe
to say
in the
whatever.
freedom of this country, companies have a right to do what they want to do as well. And if those people who work for those companies don't agree with the policies, they're free to leave those companies and go find other companies. Okay? They also can voice their opinions, more than likely. Doesn't mean they'll be listened to. But there is no war on Merry Christmas. So stop making it like it's the holiest thing. Because I'll just tell you something. And I didn't want this to become like a brag or anything. Because I say, hey, if you want to celebrate Christmas, celebrate it. I don't care. But if you want to, don't call it biblical at all. Ever. Never.
Well, I mean, that just gets into the religion thing.
Right.
And the problem is,
don't call
you're
it.
not going to necessarily agree.
Right. Don't, and we won't, but don't call it biblical because it isn't. So it's not a war on anything. It is not. It's a made up thing. So, but, and it's like, I think everybody wants to be offended by something. Everybody wants to feel like they're being attacked by somebody. You know, I'm a Jew. Look at the papers. I mean, Jews are getting attacked all over the place. And I will say, as a Jew, I think we overreact a lot to things that aren't attacking us. We want to call everything anti-Semitic and stuff. It isn't always anti-Semitic.
Everybody's always feeling like they have to be the victim about something.
Right.
Okay, whether like I'm Mexican American, if you want to call it that. I always just call myself an American, but whatever.
You're
I'm
American.
half Mexican.
Right.
You know, some people would say, "Oh, well, they're against you because you're biracial." Okay, you know what?
No.
I didn't grow up believing that way. I don't believe it now. If there's somebody that doesn't like me, most of the time I think it's just because they don't like me.
Yeah.
Have I ever thought that somebody didn't like me because of the color of my skin or maybe the way I looked? Yeah, but honestly, they could not like me because they thought my hair was too straight or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't care.
Right. I've had people not like me for a lot of reasons, mostly my personality and my attitude because I'm such a warm, fuzzy person.
You used to be.
Yeah.
You did.
But the whole point is, I think it's okay to say, if you want to say, for now, we live in a country that you can say Merry Christmas and not get beat up or fined or put in prison. Yet, you might at some point, but there's not a war on this stuff. And if people say Happy Holidays to you, don't be snarky and go, Merry Christmas. That's, don't do that.
If you say Merry Christmas back just because that's what you say, fine. Who cares? That's fine. But the point is, don't get offended.
Can't there be mutual respect?
Exactly.
Mutual respect. If you say Merry Christmas, great. If you're trying to prove a point because someone's saying Happy Holidays, maybe at the checkout line because that's the company policy. Because there are people, get this, there are people in these United States that don't celebrate Christmas. They don't celebrate the same holidays. They don't do that. And you know what? It's okay. That's what makes this country great. You don't have to. You don't have to.
It's true.
But it is engrossing almost 100% of our culture the world at this point. So it's kind of hard to ignore that. But there's a small percentage of people who don't participate. And it's okay.
Well, because, obviously Josh has said we're Jewish, but the fact of the matter is there's a lot of Jews out there that do Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah. I know some. In fact,
Exactly.
we have some friends who do. And it's,
So,
and it's
and
not our business.
And no one, we don't go, I can't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
We don't care.
Well,
I don't care what anybody else does.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should be able to do what they do. Let me do what
Yeah.
I do. And you know what?
Exactly.
We all get along just fine.
Hey, you know what? The thing of it is you see all the memes, and I know families get together, and I think that's great, and some they have a good time, and that's great, and some don't have a good time, and that's not so great, but I don't know why we just can't have mutual respect for each other and just look, if you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, great. Why do we have to force someone to accept the way we want something done? Why? That's not the way America is. You want to do something? Do it.
Well, to me, it's the same thing as forcing someone to convert to your religion, because
exactly.
If you force conversions, that's not a real
Right.
conversion. Why would
Right.
you want it anyway?
Right. Sorry to tell you, this is a country that was founded. Yes, they were religious people who founded it, and that's exactly why they put the prohibitions and the protections for religion, and where there can't be state sponsored. They did that for a reason.
Well, the idea is that true religious people want only people who want to be part of their religion to be part of it, because otherwise it doesn't mean anything. So I've always made the argument that the founding fathers were so religious that they believed in the right of people to not be religious. That was kind of the whole idea. You were supposed to have the freedom to do or not do as you saw fit.
Well, they were coming from a place, too, that was state-imposed religion, and that was part of the whole reason they were trying to get away from that, too. And the problem is, too, and I know maybe you think that, if you feel like, Jesus is the reason for the season and that he needs to save everybody, and you feel like you need to share that with everybody, fine. But guess what? You need to respect people when they reject him and say, no, I'm sorry, that's not what I believe. And that's okay. You can believe what you want to believe. I don't have to believe that.
And, and I'll say that we understand the idea that some people say, well, I can't just say it's okay because I believe if you don't accept him that you're going to hell or whatever it is you might believe. Okay, then keep that as part of your prayer for that person. But let that person live their lives without... The thing is no one ever gets to anyone in a good way by trying to force something.
Never. You've seen it. I mean, you just look back in history and people don't remember or don't care to look at history, or they just keep their eyes closed. And this is not supposed. This was just supposed to be. It's not a rant on things. I just want people to say that, look, this time is a time of year we have a lot of different things. We didn't really talk about how Hanukkah is. Well, you know what? We don't do a big deal about Hanukkah in our family, and we really haven't, even when our kids were younger, because, quite frankly, in the American tradition, and overseas too, it has become just a replacement for Christmas.
Basically the Jewish Christmas. Yeah. And we never wanted it to be that.
And that's not what it's supposed to be, and nor is it biblical, just like Christmas. It is a celebration
of a tradition.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition that and some would say no. Well, anyway, okay. It's a historical thing, and the celebration. The legend of the 8 days and everything. You can that's not even really necessarily in a story. That's kind of somewhere but it's the rededication of the temple. That's really what it came as, the cleansing of the altar in the temple that had been tainted by the Romans.
Well, and kind of like Josh was saying too, this is not like a poo-poo on anybody else's thing. It's more like every now and again we told you we're going to let you guys know some more about how we actually think.
Yeah.
And this is it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So like, sometimes like I'll put a menorah up in the window and I'll turn the lights on each and every day.
We acknowledge it.
Don't say the blessings. And most of that is for, solidarity, showing the neighborhood. We have some Jewish neighbors in the neighborhood too, and we kind of show solidarity with them as well and put up our menorah like that. But we don't do anything. Don't really fry latkes and stuff like that. Though we did have fried chicken.
And we have fried latkes.
Oh, yeah.
Every now and again we do. Yeah. But it's just not. It's not an overriding importance in our day-to-day life.
Tradition to us, this is the way we look at it. Tradition is beautiful and it can be meaningful and can be great. But whenever it starts taking the place of what you believe that the words of the Bible say, then you need to stop and take account and see actually what is your perspective? What are you really in it for? Are you in it for the glitz and the glory and the fun and the fame? Or are you actually looking into obeying what God actually says? And how would you do that? You got to actually read it. And you have to learn Hebrew, by the way. You need to learn Hebrew. You have to learn Hebrew if you really want to know what it says. You just have to. So anyway, I don't know anything about Kwanzaa. I really don't know
Actually,
I
heard something about it the other day, but honestly, if I started saying it, everybody would know I was.
Yeah, I should have looked at it.
But honestly, I really don't know that much.
It really doesn't. Right. It really doesn't. Unfortunately, it's not some part of our culture, and that's not something we know about. But I respect people who want to do it.
But I think if you do it, great.
And those of you who do Festivus with your polls, and hey, have I got some things I've got to get off my chest?
Right.
Actually, today's probably sounded more like Festivus,
exactly.
Right, than a Christmas or holiday.
Yeah.
Oh, that was yesterday, right?
That was yesterday.
Festivus was happy belated Festivus for all you, Frank.
Feats of strength.
Feats
people.
of strength, yeah. It's time for feats of
Okay,
strength.
guys, if you don't, depending on your age, if you need to go back and watch Seinfeld and to learn about Festivus.
Yeah, you got to do that. That's amazing. Mr. Costanza, Frank Costanza.
Oh, he's awesome.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah, Jerry Stiller. That's right. So, yeah. But we do hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and a happy New Year.
And if you do Christmas, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have fun with your family.
We're gonna go see Let's see. You're listening to this. If you're listening to this when it's posted tomorrow, if Del Toro gets it up, we will be watching Aquaman.
Aquaman
Yeah,
tomorrow.
we'll be watching Aquaman and eating some Chinese food.
Maybe some chili dogs too, because it's hard to tell.
I made some homemade chili. I sure did.
I heard it was good.
It is pretty good. That's a backup. So, too bad. The past few years we've had Star Wars movies.
No,
That's the last. How many years we've had Star Wars movies?
It was a few, and then before that, for a while, we had Hobbit movies.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
This year, no Star Wars.
No Star Wars.
So we're gonna go see Aquaman instead.
Aquaman.
So let's see.
I heard it's good though.
Oh, hey, we did go see Spider-Verse, the new Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh man, that was good. Very entertaining. I mean, it wasn't Dina's thing.
It's really not. I'm not an animated movie kind of thing.
And then Spider-Man was like.
But I'll say it wasn't bad.
Spider-Man used to be my number one character.
Growing
up. Before Deadpool came
Deadpool.
along. Yeah, so Deadpool was my thing.
I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there going, yeah. Deadpool.
I still like Spider-Man, though, but Deadpool to me is like grown-up Spider-Man.
Okay, well, the new Spider-Man is awesome.
He's good. Yeah, and it's a good show, too. It really is good. You guys should go check it out. And,
of
course, we saw it at
Spider-Man.
Alamo Draft House.
Alamo Draft House.
And it was amazing.
It's our place.
Usual. Well, I should say it was amazing. I did have a little bit of peeve about that chili dog.
That's true. The chili dog
was a little weak. Guys, get that more consistent. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Hey. I think we could stop there. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
Hanukkah.
guys. Happy
Kwanzaa,
post-Hanukkah.
all of the things. I hope you have
Happy
a great
New Year.
time with your
Be
families.
safe.
And if not, and you're just, I know sometimes this is a hard time of the year with, some of you can't be with family and things like that. And I get it. Think about the people who are overseas. Those men and women that have been
Our
away from their
soldiers.
families
Yep.
for, not just for Christmas, not just this year. So think about them too.
That we owe a lot to.
Right. And then, do something good for somebody. Think about doing that for the new year too. We're going to have a New Year special. We'll be posting it next Tuesday.
Oops.
God willing. And we'll talk about, maybe some things coming up for 2019 and what's on the horizon for Moonshine Safari. Yep. But until then, hang tight. We're going to talk about drinks and recipes coming right up.
Pull out your mason jars for Moonshine Safari drinks and recipes.
Welcome back to Moonshine Safari, everybody.
That's Josh, and that's our dogs.
That's dog barking, and that's Fatty barking in the background. Hey, it's time for drinks and recipes. I got a new one for you today. It's called the Blackjack. All right, what you do is you take 1/2 shot of Jack Daniel's Black Label, and you take 1/2 shot of Old Smoky Blackberry Moonshine. And you put them together, ta-da, and you make a heavenly shot.
Okay.
Called a Blackjack.
And I'll even say, too, I'm not always a Jack Daniels person. The straight whiskey's not necessarily my thing. But that was awesome, ladies. So give it a shot. Give it a try.
Give it a shot.
Got
there you
it.
go.
I made it funny.
Hey, everybody. I think that's a show for today.
Is that a show, Hoochie? Who's here?
There she is. Hoochie said it's a show. Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus.
New
all
Year's.
of that. We'll be seeing you, talking to you New Year's. Be safe out there, okay?
Please be
Do
safe.
something good. Help somebody if you can.
And enjoy your
that's a song
families.
by Van Zandt. Hey, and from us, our family here, that would be Josh, Dina, Del Toro, and Robin, and the dogs and the lousy
Hoochie,
cat.
Cookie, Cracker, Bailey, and Booger.
Booger the cat. Hey, we'll see you next time. Shine happens, y'all.
See you later, guys.
Yeah! Thank y'all for coming by the Moonshine Safari. May your glasses be full and your hearts happy.
Hey y'all, welcome to Moonshine Safari. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as well as check the description for information on our social media sites, as well as our Patreon account to help support our adventures in the Moonshine Wilderness.